Today on Wide World of Sports, can Wayward Colt Encounter turn the tables on his Golden Slipper conqueror Guineas in the $300,000 Sires Produce Stakes at Royal Randwick? As the Easter Carnival continues, the fastest 2-year-olds in the land resume their rivalry over 1,400 metres. And joining the field this time is VRC Sires Produce winner Millward. With Darren Beadman on board, he's set to show Sydney his Melbourne form was no fluke. The speed will be on all the way in the $300,000 Ansett Australia Galaxy. Boom sprinter Can Grande will match strides with Flemington Newmarket winner Ruffles. Ready to swoop on the prize, Bart Cummings, Dashing Eagle, and the Queensland flyer Lion Hunter. From the turf to the tarmac, we'll have highlights of the Brazilian Formula One Grand Prix and the latest on a long sporting weekend from right around the planet. So put the champers on ice and get ready for more Easter Carnival action as we go racing on the one and only Wide World of Sports.
Good afternoon, everybody, and on a very windy afternoon from Royal Randwick Racecourse in Sydney, it's welcome to this special racing edition of the Wide World of Sports. There's some of the throng that have come to watch the Group 1 AJC Sires Produce Stakes and the Group 1 Galaxy, which is an 1,100 metre sprint. And of course, you'll see them as well as the Roy and HG Handicap on the Wide World of Sports. With me is sporting man extraordinaire Simon O'Donnell and star jockey Wayne Harris. G'day, boys.
Well, I'd like it a bit warmer, Ken. That'd be the only thing here at Randwick. It'd be nice if the breeze had dropped a little bit, but it is great racing this afternoon.
Wayne was just saying to me it's Melbourne weather.
Blow a dog off a chain of wood, Ken.
Okay, they're going into the barrier for this race, the Roy and HG Handicap. I've just got time to give you a quick tote update. Number 1 at Kingston Bay and number 2 Atlantic Crossing are both scratched. Burrito is the favourite, a Shane Dye mount. It's at $2.70. Pearl Prince is at $13. Number 5 Cheshire at $4.50. Number 6 Romantic Ace is getting out now to almost $5.50. The track with the wind, a big tailwind coming down the home straight, is favouring leaders, and both these will have a problem getting back. Number 7 Flinders Street has been specced because of the conditions, and he's into $5.50. Simric is at $11, Tread Avon at $34, Armour of Light and Beachcomber are both scratched, and Gold Ruler at pretty good odds, getting out now to $17. Okay, Shane Dye, there he is. He's riding the favourite Burrito. I wonder how he's going to go about the tactics of this race.
With only 8 runners here today, it doesn't matter where you draw. Now, normally in a mile, they go along pretty fast, but like the Doncaster Saturday, there's no pace in this race. Pearl Prince will lead. The horse I'm on, Burrito, he'll be running 3rd on the fence, and he's the one they've all got to beat. But what I've got to do, at the 600 metres, I've got to try and get off the fence somehow. The other 2 chances, Flinders Street, he'll be running 4th or 5th. He's got a good hope. And the other one, Romantic Ace, which Darren Beadman's on, he'll be back near last. And what Darren's got to do, he's got to get him going before the turn, because this will be a sprint home. But watch for Burrito.
Well, he sounded pretty confident to me, Simon, Shane Dye. I hope he is, because I've backed Burrito under the conditions.
Yeah, certainly is, and I'm with you, Ken. And coming from barrier 1, I think Shane will give this horse the run of the race. And as you say, they're kicking away from the turn here today with this breeze. He'd want to make sure he's right there from the 600 metre mark and doesn't give those leaders much of a start.
They don't want to let the leader get away. Pearl Prince, who races in maroon and with white sleeves and a pom-pom on his cap. You'll see him in a moment. He's a horse that'll bowl along in the front. He just went into the barrier in the background, and his last run was a little better. There's Simric. He looks like he's going to be about the last to join the line in the field of 8. Wayne, quickly, what do you like?
I like Burrito. I think Shane might ride him a little bit closer now, because the leaders have been winning, and he did run second to Ravada his last start, and he did run a placing in the Doncaster on the weekend. Yeah,
the form's pretty good, and as Shane said, he hopes to be 3rd on the rails, trailing the leader Pearl Prince, and then he said he needs just a touch of luck to get out from the 600. Well, you heard all that. I hope he rides it like that. I'm sure he will. Here's John Tapp to call the action.
Right, Ken. Off and running in the Roy and HG Club Cup. A good start, and Pearl Prince bounded straight to the lead. Away smartly Flinders Street and Burrito. Simric is charging over from the outside, and he'll be in front in a moment. Going forward is Gold Ruler, followed by Cheshire. Tread Avon is getting well back in the field, and Romantic Ace is last, but there's no more than 6 lengths covering the field at the 1200 mark. The pace is very muddling. Simric and Pearl Prince are going together. They lead by a length and a half to Gold Ruler on the outside of Burrito. 2 to Flinders Street, who's racing with his mouth wide open on the outside of Tread Avon, and there's Beedman making a lightning move on Romantic Ace, taking off around the field, and he'll be in front in a moment. Well, here's a strange sight. Romantic Ace, normally tailed off in his races, is in front as they go to the 800 mark, led by 2 lengths to Pearl Prince, 2 to Simric, and then Burrito, and a neck away is Gold Ruler. Tread Avon on the inside of Flinders Street, and 3 lengths away Cheshire, who must be loafing a bit, and Rodney Quinn just put a couple around his backside to liven him up as they race up towards the turn at the 500 mark. Romantic Ace about a neck on Pearl Prince. In third place, Simric. Burrito getting a cushy run. Then Gold Ruler, Flinders Street, and Cheshire is carted about 5 deep on the turn, and Tread Avon is looking for room as they come over the rise. Romantic Ace joined again by Pearl Prince. Simric putting in a dash, and then Burrito, who's making heavy weather of it, followed by Flinders Street coming down the outside. Romantic Ace and Pearl Prince are fighting it out. Flinders Street is out after them now, getting to a narrow lead. Pearl Prince over Romantic Ace, and Moses is lifting Pearl Prince to the line. He got there by a half length to Romantic Ace. In third place, Flinders Street, who might have died on his run, followed by Tread Avon. Burrito had every hope, and then Cheshire, followed by Simric and Gold Ruler back at the tail of the field.
Well, Wayne Harris, I should say, Darren Beedman, Wayne Harris, knew that it was favouring leaders. He went around them on Romantic Ace, almost stole it, but not quite, because Pearl Prince, paying $15.10 and $3.30, took the prize. TAB number 4 from 6 Romantic Ace $1.90 and 7 Flinders Street $1.80. 4, 6 and 7 were the numbers, and here is the replay. It's Romantic Ace in front at this point, Pearl Prince coming to him, and then wider out in the yellow and red colours is Flinders Street making a late charge, but it was late, and Pearl Prince got to the front when it mattered, right on the line to beat Romantic Ace with Flinders Street in third place. Wayne, jockeys have got to be versatile. When was no good sitting back last on Romantic Ace, and he almost got away with it, didn't he? Yeah, Darren showed a bit of initiative there, and he really did change the tempo of the race. Burrito was having no luck. He was jammed up, and if you forget Pearl Prince's just his form lately, he's been running against some good horses, and he hasn't been getting beat that far, so it wasn't such a big surprise to see him win. No, he got the prize. Pearl Prince first, and here's the head-on across the track. Burrito in the Cerise. He's history. He's gone already. Now, that's Romantic Ace in the blue and the white cap. Next to him is the eventual winner, Pearl Prince. And watch Kevin Moses, one of the fittest jockeys. He's in his mid-40s, but boy, oh boy, can he get some out of them. He got into this horse, and he found plenty. That's Tread Avon in the maroon and white colours outside of him. Flinders Street in the yellow, and back behind them in the green and gold was Simric. But the winner, Pearl Prince, in the first race we're showing you today. The big one's coming up. That's the Sires Produce Stakes next, and after that, the Galaxy, on today's special edition of the Wide World of Sports. Comes Kevin Moses back to scale aboard Pearl Prince, one of the fittest jockeys in Sydney and also one of the most competent. Followed in by Romantic Ace, Darren Beedman, and it's been the Darren and Shane show over the weekend, Beedman and Dye, and good to see someone else ride a winner. The numbers on the Roy and HG Club Handicap were 4, 6 and 7. The dividends, number 4 Pearl Prince $15.20 and $3.30, number 6 Romantic Ace $1.90, and number 7 Flinders Street $1.80. The Quinella paid $46.80, and the trifecta $552.10. The next race up is the Sires Produce Stakes, Group 1 for 2-year-olds. It could be a replay of the Golden Slipper with a few additions. Number 1 Guineas is showing at $7 on the tote. by golly, I'd like to get that, or as they say in Aussie rules, I'd like to see that. I think he'll come in considerably. Millwood, Darren Beedman, who rode guineas in the slipper, is riding Millwood today, $2.80. Encounter is at $2.80 as well, equal favourites. Number 4, Special Dane at $15. Aveda at the same price. Tricove, $21. Irish Air, $21. Mr. Right and Port Loriga, both at 100 to 1. You Called Sir at $26. D-Win at $21. Game Warrior at 100 to 1. A D-Win is the likely leader. Okay, time now for a sports update on this Easter Monday, and to do that for us is Ian Maurice.
Good on you, Ken. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Let's start our update with golf.
A little bit. You'd know that Gai Waterhouse created history on Saturday by winning the Doncaster handicap for the 4th successive time. On the racing show yesterday, John Tapp likened her antics in the grandstand, both during the Doncaster and after it, to a maestro conducting an orchestra. As we go for this break, let's watch Mrs. Racing conducting her band.
.600 out as they near the turn. Regal Chamber the leader. Guineas is second. General Nadim third. Encounter fourth, getting a perfect run. Rose of Danehill 3 deep. Then Nimble Feet Decide on the fence, followed by Sports. Rose of Danehill made the bend awkwardly, and Knowledge is giving them about 8 lengths as they turn for home. Regal Chamber giving plenty of cheek in the straight. Guineas on the outside throwing down the gauntlet. The General looking for the rails run. Encounter on the extreme outside with the last run at them. General Nadim got right through on the fence to join Regal Chamber, Guineas and Encounter on the outside. Encounter and Guineas. Encounter has run off the track, is lunging again as they hit the line, and oh, it's close. Guineas or Encounter. Don't know what happened to Encounter near the line. He speared off the track and it might cost him the slipper, but there's nothing in it.
Well, we'll see a replay of that today. Guineas versus Encounter. There's been 41 Golden Slipper Stakes run, and I don't think we've ever seen a better thing beaten than Encounter was just last Saturday. 9 days ago, last Saturday week now. And the trainer of Encounter, of course, is Clary Connors. I wonder what he thinks of the whole thing. Michael Maher of our sports team caught up with Clary.
Clary Connors, first up, how is Muad now?
He's 99.9%, 100% nearly. He's had a little mark on his tendon, and we just had to stop him. It was too valuable a risk running him. And, we had syndicate members come out and looked at the horse yesterday, and if I hadn't had the leg shaved, they would have been able to find which leg it was. It's really done well. So I hope they have a consider what they're going to do, and I hope he comes back again.
I mean, you've had a very hard week, haven't you? Have you had any harder weeks than this?
No. Well, I had a pretty strenuous week a few years ago after I won a slipper and the horse returned a positive swab. That was a very nice week. And but I think this last week, losing the slipper by a nose and then not winning a Doncaster, I thought I would have won for sure. So nearly equal, I suppose.
OK, today's the time for poetic justice. Encounter, what do you think?
I think he's got a super chance in Encounter. I'm very happy with the horse. And the 1400 should suit him. I've got a couple other horses in the race. Horse called Vader. He ran third in the size in Melbourne. And a horse called Irish Air. He goes pretty good. The 1400 will suit him. So I think I can win the size this year.
You're a bit like Gai, aren't you? You've got 25 or a third of the field. Yeah,
well, that's what's happening. I only have one in the slipper, though, so it's coming around my way, this one.
What about the Galaxy in Unison? This must be a very big hope.
Yeah, well, she's a lovely filly. She's honest as anything, and she's won the last 3, as you know, and we just decided, well, there wasn't any other nice little fillies or mares races for her, and so as I set off this race, I gave her a trial a couple of weeks ago, and she trialled nice, and she's up in class, but, she's pretty classy too.
Clary, you need a change, or you deserve a change of luck. Good luck to you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Well, we'll know shortly whether fate smiles kindly on Clary today. I backed Encounter in the Golden Slipper, but today where they're drawn, Guineas is drawn inside him. There's a very fast horse, a D-Win inside of Guineas. I thought Encounter could get trapped deep. I'm going to back Guineas. Wayne Harris, what do you think?
I'm probably going to do a silly thing too. I'm going to tip Encounter in the slipper, and I think he should have won, but Guineas has got the record there, and Guineas will probably be the one to beat, but I think they'll find out, Guineas and Encounter.
Simon O'Donnell.
Yeah, I just think people can't, over the extra distance today, sit back and think their horses can make a late run, because we've seen so far all the leading horses are the ones that have seemed to kick for home and win the race. So I think it's really got to throw Guineas in there, and if Millwood can stay on the pace, I think he's a great chance as well.
Yeah, well, Millwood, of course, won the Victorian Sires Produce Stakes, and leaders are favoured here today because there's a southerly blowing and they've got a wind right behind them all the way up the home straight. A jockey of the moment is Glenn Boss, Wayne Harris. He's just come back from Dubai. I understand you recorded an interview with him earlier. Why don't we take a look at that?
I think we should. With me have jockey Glenn Boss. Glenn, in the size, you're riding Irish Air for the Clary Connors stable. He looks to be a bit of an outsider, but he might run on at long odds.
Yeah, I think so. He's a sort of immature type of horse, big, strong, robust type of colt. I'm sure whatever he does is his two-year-old campaign, he'll improve and make a real solid Derby horse next year. But his runs have been very solid this time, behind Encounter the other day in the Rose Hill trial. So, I'm expecting, at Randwick, over the journey, I'm sure he'll run a very good race.
And in the Galaxy, you're riding Sovereign State. He's probably well weighted in that race, and wouldn't be surprised to see him run a good race.
Yeah, there's no doubt he's in great form. He drops from 59.5 the other day down to 51.5. I mean, he's up and great, obviously, but he's continued to hold his form very strongly throughout this campaign. And he can run good time and good sectionals when he's right. So I'm sure, it's a tough race, but you've got to find out what they're made of sooner or later. And I'm sure from a good alley, he'll be very competitive.
And Glenn, you've been travelling a lot lately. You must be tired. You've just come back from Dubai where you've been over supervising jugglers' preparation. You go back tomorrow to ride him on Thursday.
Yes, 22 hours on a flight. Got here at 8 o'clock this morning. Off again tomorrow morning. The horse is actually peaking. He's really cherry ripe for this race. So we've done everything in our power to get him as right as we can. It's just up to find out, how he does compete against the top horses in the world. It's a bit of a lottery, but I'm sure the horse won't let Australia down.
Well, we're all hoping for you, Glenn. All Australia's behind you, and hope you're bringing the cup back on Thursday.
Thanks, mate, Harry. Thanks, mate.
Well, Wayne Harris, I don't know about you, but after 22 hours in the air, I normally need about 6 cans of Tooheys and 3 days in bed before I go back on a plane. He's getting another 22 hours tonight.
Well, Glenn might have a couple of scotches on the way back just to relax him.
It does make it a bit hard, doesn't it?
Oh, does it what? OK, these horses are moving around now for the Sires Produce Stakes. Good field. Full field of 12 runners contesting the race. It's $6.50 now for Guineas, which I think is closer to the mark. Number 2, Millwood, is showing at $2.90, and number 3, Encounter, at $3. Surprise favourite on the tote, Millwood, but I think the Darren Beedman influence has got a lot to do with that. OK, let's start to look at these horses, boys. Wayne, why don't you lead away? There's number 1, Guineas. He's to be ridden by Larry Cassidy today. Of course, Larry won the Doncaster on Secret Savings.
Yeah, Larry has won on this horse. He won the Skyline Stakes. Darren Beedman replaced him in the slipper. We all doubted him in the slipper, and look what he did to us. And he'll go forward in the race, and he's got to be the one to beat, I think.
Yeah, even though he's by Crown Jester, who's normally a sire of speedsters, he's out of a Sir Tristram mare, and that'll help him. Number 2, Simon, is Millwood. Now, I know you like to talk about this horse, trained by a good friend of yours, Alan Bell, and he's to be ridden by dashing Darren Beedman.
Yeah, was very lucky, or unlucky, I should say, in the Blue Diamond down in Melbourne, and look, he's been spared for this. He hasn't run since the Sires Produce, and that was back on the 10th of March. So, Alan, this will be a good training feed if you can get him up today over 1,400 metres, but I think if he can camp somewhere near the pace, he's got a great chance.
Have you spoken to Alan? Is he confident?
Yeah, he certainly is. The whole camp's pretty confident about how the horse will run.
OK, just had a quick peep at Encounter. The slipper run doesn't seem to have done him any harm, Wayne Harris. He'll be ridden again by Shane Dye.
He still looks great. He's just going to need a little bit of luck, but I do think, honestly, he should have won the slipper, and he's going to be very hard to beat today. He just needs that little bit of luck.
Yeah, I'm a bit with you. If luck goes his way, I think you and I will do our money. He'll beat us again. Number 4 is Special Dane, down from Queensland. I think we've just lost the Special Dane. There he comes. He's good, strong horse by Dane Hill. He's to be ridden by Larry Olsen.
Yeah, certainly has just been found to be a length or two short of the real good 2-year-olds. We've seen that in the Todman slipper and also then the Golden slipper, 10 of 15, and he was 6.2 lengths behind the winners. So he'll need a little bit of improvement over the 1,400 today to be in the finish.
5 years ago, the filly Burst, trained by Clary Connors, won this race. Today, Burst's young brother, Evada, by Marauding from Sudden, is running. There he is.
He looks great. He's a very underrated horse, this horse, but the pattern of the race probably won't suit him. He'll get back. His runs in Melbourne were very, very good, but I just doubt the Melbourne form just a little bit, but this could be a surprise packet of Aveda.
Yeah, Mick Dittman takes the ride on Aveda. There's number 6, Tri-Cove. Brian York riding him for Bill Mitchell.
Yeah, his last 600 metres, Tri-Cove's last 600 metres in the Golden Slipper was excellent, but again, a horse that gets back, I think he'll get back over the 1400 today. He's going to have to be running unbelievable times over his last 600 to be in the finish today.
Tailing him along there, number 7, Irish Air, another of the Clary Connors team. That's the one Wayne spoke of with Glenn Boss. He's to ride him.
Yes, he's got a need a bit of luck. He's only very lightly raced. He will run the 1400 out strong, so he might be a surprise packet, but he'd have to lift his game just a touch, I think.
A filly that might surprise them here, and there's a bit of money for her, is this filly on screen now, a D-Win. I tip her as the likely leader, but the last 200 metres could be a problem. She's trained by Bob Thompson. She'll be ridden by Len Beasley.
Yes, I haven't seen a lot of this filly, but Ken, I'll take your word for it. She has got plenty of pace early, and if she has, it gives her a great opportunity against these colts to be right in the finish.
Those backing leaders, I think, will be backing a D-Win. OK, they're about to go out on the track. Nothing much happening just at the moment, but there soon will be. So we'll take a break from the wide world of sports.
Monica's Foul.
Well, there they are, the horses going under the Champions Arch at Randwick as they go out onto the track for the running of the 1997 Sires Produce Stakes. 1400 metres, Group 1 for 2-year-olds. Now, this tote board is getting closer to the correct prices. Let's have a look at it. Number 1, Guineas, is now into $4.50. Number 2, Millwood, out to $3.20. Encounter favourite, but out to $3. Special Dane and Evada are both at $3. Tri-Cove at $26. Irish Air at $21. Mr. Right and Port Loriga at 100 to 1. $26 You Called Sir. $16 a D-Win. And 100 to 1 Game Warrior. Well, Darren Beedman rode Guineas when he won the Golden Slipper last Saturday week, just 9 days ago. Today, he's on Millwood. A short time ago, Wayne Harris caught up with him.
With me, I've jockey Darren Beedman. In the Sires, you're riding Millward. It must have been an awkward situation for you to be in after winning on Guineas in the Slipper to have to try to choose between the two horses.
It was, but I made a commitment after the Sires in Melbourne for Millwood up here. So really, I stuck by my word, and you know, it's hard to relinquish a ride on a Group 1 Golden Slipper winner because I think the horse has got a heap of ability and potential. But in saying that, this horse I'm also riding has got probably about the same. So it's quite a good position to be in, really.
And in the Galaxy, you're riding your stablemate Wavertree. What chance do you give him?
Well, I think he's got a good chance. He's only got a nice light weight on 51.5 kilos. He's drawn an inside gate. There is, you know, tremendous speed in the race, but he has got a little bit of class and quality about him. So if there's any kinks in the other horse's armour, he'll be flying home over the top.
And he has won over the short course here at Randwick, so it is in his advantage, I guess.
Yep, that's for sure. He's he's won twice out of 3 times first up, so his first up record's extremely well, and so it's it's a good ride.
And where are you going on your holiday, Darren? You've got to cop the suspension now. Have you chosen your holiday destination?
I'll be going away with the family for a few days with the children while the school holiday's on, and it's great to be able to spend some quality time, but it's not a good time to get put out, as you know. It's a vital time of our year. But in saying that, it's good to see you out here enjoying part of the colour and the atmosphere, Wayne.
Thanks for your time, Darren. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, besides the holiday, he copped a $10,000 fine, but I think he can afford it. Well, the Group 1 action of the Sires Produce Stakes coming up shortly, but first, another break from Royal Randwick Racecourse in Sydney.
You don't have to do this to have a green...
Right, they're behind the barrier. They're starting to go in. There's Shane Dye. He's aboard Encounter. We asked Shane Dye about the tactics for this Group 1 race a little time ago.
Now the Sires. It really does help if you draw an inside barrier. I've drawn out in 10 on Encounter, and he's got the job ahead of him. I'll be trapped about 3 to 4 wide, but there's nothing I'll be able to do about that. After 200 metres, I'll have to make my mind up whether I go forward or come back, and I won't know until I'm in the race. Now, the other two main chances are Guineas and, of course, Millwood. They'll be running forward. They'll be running second or third. A Deedwin, she'll lead in the race. There's no doubt about that. The query with a Deedwin is, will she run out the 1,400 metres? She'll be stopping the last 200 metres, and I'm sure Guineas, along with Encounter, will be fighting the finish out.
Yeah, I think that Encounter will be right there. There's TAB number 7, Irish Air. Irish Air is ridden, as we've told you a few times, by Glenn Boss. He takes his place in the line, just 1 or 2 more to come forward, and then they'll be ready for the running of the Sires Produce Stakes. And to call the action again, John Tapp. Here he is.
This is up well. Thanks, Ken. All set now for the William Inglis Sires Produce Stakes. Starters to his stand. Mr. Right has the inside gate. They face squarely. Should catch them off and running in the Sires Produce, and Port Loriga is a shade slow to move at the start. Encounter and Guineas are away brilliantly, but the filly RD Win is going to burn them off. Millwood is pushed a bit in the early stages to get into a prominent posse, followed by Irish Air, and then Special Dane on the fence just behind Those You Call Sir, followed by Game Warrior, who might have been slightly checked there. Tricove is 3 deep in the run to the first turn, followed by Mr. Right and well back Evader and Port Loriga. Around that first turn, RD Winner's the leader and going at a good tempo by 2.5 lengths to Guineas, a length away Encounter. On the rail in the club's colours, Special Dane, a length to Millwood, followed by Irish Air. You Call Sir is obliged to travel 3 and 4 deep on the fence. Mr. Right, a gap then to Port Loriga, followed by Game Warrior, 3 deep, Tricove and Evader last about 9 lengths off the lead. Coming around the turn, RD Winner's a clear-cut leader over Guineas, first to go after her. In third place, Special Dane, followed by Encounter, and then Millwood, Mr. Right from Irish Air and Tricove as they top the rise. RD Win the leader. Encounter and Guineas are coming after AD Win as they top the rise, and they're clear of Special Dane. None of the others are a hope. RD Win tackled by Encounter. Guineas can't find much more. Encounter hit the lead 100 metres out. Guineas is fighting back like a bulldog, but Encounter avenges defeat in the Golden Slippery. Tried to run out again, but he didn't get far today. Encounter beat Guineas. RD Winner's run third, followed by Evader, and then Mr. Right, Irish Air, followed by Millwood, Special Dane, Tricove, Port Loriga. Well back in the field, Game Warrior, and last is You Call Sir.
Well, I've got to say that the race broke for him, but that was a brilliant ride by Shane Dye on number 3 Encounter, $3 exactly and $1.40. Number 1 Guineas, $1.50, and number 11 a D-Win, $3 exactly. The numbers 3, 1 and 11 as we look at a replay of the Sires Produce Stakes. A D-Win led, but by this point at the 80-metre point, the 2 colts had a Encounter had got to the lead already, quickly claimed Guineas and accelerated too quickly for Guineas. Guineas wasn't disgraced. He'd won his previous 7 starts. This was his first defeat, and he fought back like the courageous animal that he is. From another angle, a D-Win in front, claimed by Encounter. Guineas is between them, and then it's a minute back to the others, headed by Evader, TAB number 5. But all honours were certainly with the winner, Encounter. Too good for Guineas the way the race was run. A brilliant Shane Dye ride. Simon O'Donnell is with Clary Connors.
Clary, sweet revenge. If I can get you to stop coughing, you're too excited.
Yeah, I must have been singing out or something. I don't know what it was, but I said, don't hit him, Shane, don't hit him.
Did he run out a little just at the end there again?
I think Shane got a little test near the post to hit him, and he ducked out again. We might have to change jockeys or make him put the whip in his left hand or something.
I think it'll be a bit hard to get the little fella off, won't it?
You know what he's like.
Good to see a smile back on your face. He looks like you're developing a nice 3-year-old as well over a bit of ground.
Yes, Simon, he does. He's done terrific since the slipper. It's past this. It's a shame he didn't win because, you know, anyhow. And he's a pretty special little horse. He's just improving all the time and still green, as I told you a couple of weeks ago, but he's getting better and, you know, see what he can do.
Sweet revenge. Go and enjoy it.
Thanks a lot, Simon.
Well, the winning margin was a half length in favour of Encounter, with a length and a half between Guineas, who ran second, and a D-Win, who ran third. And the winning time, 1:22.4. If it was athletics, we'd say it was wind assisted, because it certainly was down the home straight. There's Slippery, as the kids call him at Channel 9, Shane Dye, the Billy Idol is his general nickname, and he's waiting for Connections to come and lead Encounter back after his Group 1 win. At last year's yearling sales, Encounter was passed in at $32,000, and here he is now winning a Group 1 race with a first prize of $204,000. Gee, see the Seagull go past there. That's a D win on the rails in the Dane win colours of red and green and white. Between the horses is Guineas in the all cerise, and 3 wide outside the other two is the winner, Encounter, in the cerise and blue with the white cap. Getting lost back there is Port Loriga in the orange cap. He certainly wasn't good enough. Then the white cap is the horse who finished 5th, Aveda, who is a brother to the very good filly Burst, and the horse between them there in the purple was Mr. Right. Okay, Encounter, Shane Dye shaking his whip. He's getting a bit used to these Group 1 wins lately, and well he might. He's won several of them, and boys, Wayne and Simon, that race broke for Encounter, didn't it? When they went so quickly, he got over, I think, a lot of